You ever bought a cheap plug-in fireplace that looked great in the box, only to find it sputters, smells like plastic, or just doesn't put out any heat? I've seen enough of those regret stories to know the hesitation that comes right before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Real Flame Malie 68-inch landscape electric fireplace tries to be the smarter alternative, promising real-looking logs, a built-in heater, and even a mantle you can actually put core on. The question is whether it lives up to that promise without turning your living room into another disappointment. First off, let's talk about why an electric fireplace is a different animal than the cheap LED panels you might have seen on a showroom floor. The category is supposed to blend ambience with functional heat, and that balance is where most low-priced models fall flat. They either look decent but can't warm a room, or they do the heating job but look like a plastic slab. The Malie tries to cover both ends, a 68-inch landscape format that mimics a traditional fireplace, a set of realistic logs, a flame effect projector, and a built-in heater that can actually raise the temperature a few degrees. It also ships with a remote and a timer, so you can set it and forget it, which is a real convenience if you've ever wrestled with wall switches after a long day. Who should consider this unit? If you rent an apartment that doesn't allow a wood-burning hearth, but you still want the visual focal point of a fireplace, the Malie is a solid candidate. It fits into a standard entertainment center space without the need for venting or a gas line, so you avoid the installation headache that comes with more permanent solutions. Families with kids or pets also benefit from the safety features. There's no open flame. The exterior stays relatively cool, and the remote lets you turn it off from anywhere in the room. On the other side, if you're looking for a high-output space heater to replace a central system, this isn't it. The heater is designed for supplemental warmth, not to be the sole source in a large, poorly insulated living area. Likewise, design purists who want a true stone mantle or custom carpentry might find the prefabricated mantle a bit too generic. In practice, setting up the Malie is straightforward. Unbox, slide the unit onto the mantle surface, plug it in, and use the remote to choose flame intensity, heat level, or a night light mode. The timer lets you program it for up to 8 hours, which is handy for those evenings when you want the glow while you're on the couch, but don't need it running all night. I tried it in a medium-sized living room, about 250 square feet, on a chilly October night. The flame projection was convincing. There's a subtle flicker that reacts to the heat setting, and the logs are textured enough that they don't look like cheap plastic at a glance. After an hour on the low-heat setting, the room temperature rose by roughly 3 degrees, enough to take the edge off the chill without cranking the thermostat. The strengths become clearer when you think about daily use. The remote means you don't have to get up every few minutes to adjust the flame or turn it off, which is a small but noticeable comfort. The timer eliminates the temptation to leave it on all night, saving electricity and keeping the room from getting overly warm. The built-in heater runs quietly, no buzzing or rattling, just a soft hum that blends into the background. Because it's electric, there's no need for gas line inspections, vent cleaning, or chimney maintenance, which translates into lower long-term costs compared to a traditional fireplace. Now for the trade-offs. The heat output is modest. On the high setting you get about 500 watts, which is enough to warm a small to medium space but won't replace a central furnace. If your home is drafty or you have high ceilings, you'll feel the difference. The mantle that comes with the unit is functional but not customizable. If you have a very specific core style, you might end up adding a separate mantelpiece on top, which adds cost and effort. Also, because the flame effect relies on a projector, the brightness can be affected by the ambient light in the room. In a very sunny space, the flames look a bit washed out. Finally, the unit is on the heavier side for a freestanding piece, so you'll need a sturdy surface to support it. The packaging recommends a minimum width of 70 inches for safe placement. What about value? The price point sits between the ultra-cheap LED panels that barely heat and the high-end wall-mounted units that can cost several $100s more. Considering the realistic flame, the functional heater, the safety features, and the included remote and timer, you're getting a lot of the things people usually have to buy separately. For a renter or a homeowner who wants an easy, plug-and-play solution, the Malie feels like a worthwhile investment. If you're a DIY enthusiast who likes to build a custom